So, it really does look like we will get a university announcement sooner rather than later given recent leaks. This video stands whether that happens or not because it's really meant for discussion. To be clear, everything I say is speculation based on how this type of thing has been handled in the past. I just want to get it out there. I don't personally understand why so many people want a university pack. Now, I do get that not having university is a missing element for a life simulator that people feel is needed. But the reason it confuses me is I don't see how it'll improve gameplay outside of university at all, and I personally see self-contained stuff as kind of weak. You go to college, you do the work, get a degree, and resume your normal life. That's what it probably has to boil down to because that is the nature of the university experience. The requirements for university to be done right are steep. It needs to be fun while you're there to make you want to do it again, simply by virtue of this hypothetically being a full-blown expansion. It could also accomplish making you want to go again by having nice, but not too overpowered rewards. Rewards so powerful they ruin the game. There are plenty of players that play only for the story of their Sims and don't mind the lack of depth, and they're likely to be okay with this. But at the same time, I think those people who are okay with it would love some of my ideas. So let me know what you think of some of this. I understand you kind of want to go away with your sim and experience something different for a while, where you don't have to worry about money, but the idea of it feels like a vacation pack to me. Now, hear me out here. It's kind of like outdoor retreat for young adults, but there's a problem with that. Many of the people I talk to say they rarely traveled beyond their first playthroughs of outdoor retreat. I think a big reason for this is that there isn't a lasting impact of having gone on a vacation beyond your own storytelling, so it doesn't lead players to want to do so. There isn't a reward that sticks around a while. Like, I'm so happy I just went on vacation. Now I really don't need fun. Let's go back to work. Just being there should largely handle the fun need, but it doesn't. This is the kind of thing that being programmed in would help to draw me back to using a pack like Outdoor Retreat. A desire to have a drawn out fun session, and it could just be connected to existing paid time off. A desire for a vacation, even if at home, and a benefit to having taken one. So your sim can stay at home or go to Granite Falls. And when they are done, they are better able to use the work hard career tone for a while before this depletes and they need another vacation. I think we'd all be pretty upset if class were just another rabbit hole. So what might that be like? I'm hoping it's not just like get to work careers, but would like to see some hands-on learning involved so we aren't just watching Sims in class. Balancing your Sim's life at college will be a big part of things. Spread out class times, but events all over the place. I would like to see fraternity life be interesting enough that I want to do it, which means I have to carefully manage time in order to make it to a party. So you'll go to classes and maybe participate in some sorority or fraternity. Maybe you build up reputation in that group. You'll need to balance life and get good grades. When it's all over and you graduate, maybe you get a bonus boost that only applies to Sims with college. You're then back to a normal Sim life, so it's necessarily going to be to some extent like Outdoor Retreat. And even if it's not done like Sims 3, where they freeze time while you're away, it's inevitably going to lead to the same life without really doing a lot to the core gameplay. And that's why it needs to be really fun on campus. But it not being a pack that'll really make off-campus gameplay more fun is why I don't see why it's such a frequently requested pack. So many of us want packs that add depth to the game, and self-contained experiences are the opposite of that. The best packs should change the gameplay and have features that you can use at any time, not self-contained experiences. These are often left to rot, except when we use their build mode and cast editions. My fear is that a university expansion could be done like it was in Sims 3, but without having Sims 3's strengths. Take the reward Sims 3 had of an extra trait slot, even though traits are less impactful in 4. Another obvious reward for finishing college is a boost in skill or career levels. Maybe you gain skills faster while there, maybe you start higher rank in a career when you're done. The problem is, those things can already be done without college in a few ways. The reputation system from Get Famous already offers you jobs for having a good reputation. You can also buy the connections reward trait. So we kind of already have these as ways to skip those first early levels, so it's not a good reward for replay value, except for storytellers. Adding another way of doing that is problematic to me because Sims 4's career system is not particularly compelling. You're often better off pursuing a skill because of Sims 4's old-fashioned career schedules. Yes, plenty of people have to go in at a particular time, but we don't have anything like Workaholic from Sims 3 to let you get work done at home. Another thing making Sims 3's a bit more interesting is that there are unique rewards to many careers, like the ability to sign autographs you get as an athlete. Whereas in 4, a lot of the rewards are objects or a new book type you can write. It's a side note, but the objects only accessible as career promotions in 4 are just a strange hindrance, because unless I'm trying to buy a rocket launcher, you bet if I have the money, a company's going to sell it to me. They're not going to say, "Sorry, sir, only authors can buy this desk." It's a 5-year-old mistake they probably should undo, but the team doing this would make careers feel even less special, I guess. So career rewards, as the reason for going to university, are kind of weak. Starting in rank 4 or 5 of career just gives me more money, a thing we already have in abundance. And as I've said, we already have means of jumping career levels. Since college is likely to take a while, after the first time it may be better to just skip college altogether. Maybe there would be different groups like in 3 with the nerds, jocks, and rebels. Maybe townies will hail from these groups and you'll have a bonus to friendship with them. But again, we don't have much of a reason to pursue numerous friendships. I feel like this is fixable. So something that I'd be asking for is, I'd like to see some systems built into play that do reward you for having actual friends, such as Sims desiring friends, being sad without them, or to be friends with certain types of Sims in the first place, because they don't. Sims don't want friends. They don't care if they're unmarried or if no one likes them. They're just a bunch of grinning sociopaths who seek only to use others to fill their social need bar. Passive bonuses for having lots of friends could be pretty interesting. See, you can buy a trait to be well connected, but what if you could achieve this just by having friends, letting you work your way up the ladder through connections alone versus the simple switch that's thrown that makes you well connected? Or what if chatting with friends actually gave you a bigger social need boost than asking some random townie how their day is going and confessing your crippling fear of vampires? What if interactions with friends lasted to where your social needs stayed strong because you have a good support network built up thanks to all those friendships you've made? You aren't lonely just because you didn't talk to someone in 12 hours. You are a person with friends, and this would also let some people have that fantasy. Now, I will say something they could add in that I would like, and I'd even accept rabbit holes. Paid classes. Yeah, pick a skill, take a class at the university, and gain a couple levels, but not that simple. If you fully finish a class, your gains are better from here on out, just to a small degree. Maybe do a few of them and your Sim just gobbles up info much faster. Pay your way to being well educated. I mean, it's part of the point. Sims picking up random skill boosts in classes in a way that makes sense would also be cool. Another thing is, I'd like to be saddled with debt after college and have to repay it, or have my Sim parents pay for the kid to go to college if he doesn't get good grades in high school. We have way too much money and not enough to spend it on, and this gives high school a bigger purpose. Right now, you already get accelerated career gains from that too, so I hope they make university matter somewhat to us players that like to come up with good combos and strategize a little. So I doubt everything will be exactly as I've imagined it here, but due to these things I've said, I feel it's a tough pack to get right in the current generation of The Sims. 4 has its charms, but its biggest strength is building, so people are asking for university gameplay and are going to expect it to have an impact on their sim beyond school. Because you're going to school for a reason. It's about what's after, too. Let's hope that they can pull this off in a way that makes repeat visits to university a desirable thing, because we're talking about the idea of a $40 expansion here. It needs to have a good bit of gameplay and impact Sims in ways that carry over into adulthood. So we probably all have different desires. To some of you wanting university, what is it that gets you excited? Have some of my ideas sounded fun to you? What do you hope for with regard to university's gameplay, and how do you think they could make graduates more effective than non-graduates? I'm only interested in civil discussion here, so please be kind to one another and have a nice week. I'm watching for news on an announcement and plan to do some more guides in the meantime. Obviously, my voice is not perfect yet, but I'm getting better. I've reworked thumbnails a lot in the past week, and I'm sorry if that causes confusion if you go to look for an old video. Most of the titles are close or unchanged. But I was told my thumbs suck. They are right. It was the best feedback I'd gotten recently, and I took the opportunity of being sick to learn some Photoshop. They're not perfect, but they're better.